Bugatti.
Bugatti?
Bugatti.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. You ready? Some of these questions, I will repeat them.
Some of them?
Like later on in the film, because I feel like if I were to repeat them, it would be better if we are at that moment.
Okay, I guess.
Can you share some memories of your childhood in Detroit?
No.
How
I'm kidding. All right, I'm fucking with you. Okay, let's be serious now. Okay. Take 2. Wow. My name's Yaz. My government name is Yasmin, but that's out of the question. But I also do go by Yelena and Ivan and whatever else people decide to perceive me as. I just turned 20 not too long ago. Today's the 28th. Yeah. I turned 20 like 2 days ago, which is crazy to me. So I was born in the United States of America, here in Detroit, Michigan. But my family, my mother's side specifically, is from Juncos, Puerto Rico, and my dad is from San Pedro Sula in Honduras. When I was younger, I didn't really get into painting specifically. I was more into the good old pencil and paper, which I was utilizing Paint Tool SI a lot, and a graphics tablet to be able to create what I wanted. But later on, when I was in the 12th grade, I was a part of AP Studio Art. I had to figure out some way in which I was able to complete my portfolio and submit it for the AP exams and whatnot. So I dabbled into the acrylics, really started to explore a little bit on mixed media. And ever since then, it just really stuck with me. I never wanted to be an artist when I was young. I actually wanted to be a veterinarian. And we can see how that turned out for me. It's hard to say how I discovered it, because honestly, it was mainly just a hobby growing up. And then I stopped, and then I viewed a piece of artwork that one of my classmates did on social media, and I got really jealous by it. And I started back up again. And ever since then, it really wasn't something that I just stopped doing. I just kept doing it as I realized that art was the only thing that I was pretty much good at, even though I was a straight A student and had honor awards or whatever the hell they give out to those overachieving motherfuckers. I didn't really have any other passions besides art. It's interesting because I am a huge perfectionist. I try to make sure things go to plan the way that it needs to be, but when it comes to making a piece of work, things just never goes to plan. And a lot of times I have to adjust the way I view it, or adjust the way I try to perceive it or interpret it. Religious affiliation is not one that is considered mainstream per se, like Christianity or Islam or Judaism, but I am considered as the devotee to La Santa Muerte, who is a folk saint who originated from Mexico, which has roots in Catholicism. And I believe that this figure, whom I have devoted the rest of my life to, in a way, not only is someone that I look to as a mother, a protector, and as someone who could guide me through this way of life, but also a representation of both my culture and my identity as well, of past, present, and future. in a way. I am the oppressed, but I am also a part of the oppressor as well. Referring back to the colonization times and the massacres of the indigenous people during those times too. So this figure that I'm painting, I made a sketch of her like, oops, which camera do I point at? Like 2 years ago. I dated there on 6/22/2021, and I attempted to paint that for the first time in that same year, and I couldn't do it. I was so frustrated, but if I'm not mistaken, the reason why I failed was because I was too focused on one thing and trying to perfectionize everything when really that wasn't the way to go. So here, instead of just focusing on one thing, I'm focusing on a million things at the same time. I feel like my life isn't any different to other people's lives. I may have just grew up quicker than other people due to the circumstances that I was in order to best manage the environment I was in. But even though that has left some everlasting effects on me, it was still, it was meant to be, at least for me. Not saying that everyone who has undergone through some certain circumstances deserve it, but I'm not going to deny the fact that it was going to happen whether I liked it or not. But overall, it was alright. It was mid. LOL. I believe a major misconception about La Santa Muerte is that a lot of people consider her as the Grim Reaper. A lot of people who sees my artwork and be like, oh, is that the Grim Reaper? Is that the Reaper? And stuff like that. I try to correct them as best as I can and educate them about my religion. But of course, a lot of times that simply does not happen. I have received moments where people look at me quite weirdly, or you could just sense an energy shift from them, because who in their right mind would ever worship someone who's associated with death? But it's important to understand that death is something that is bound to happen to everyone. It's inevitable. We are all going to die whether we like it or not. And a lot of times we have already experienced some sort of death as well. Death in ego, death in personality. We are changing every single day. We are definitely not the same person that we were a year ago. And that is an example of death. Not exclude anyone from her to show her, the love and adoration that you may have for her. It's just important to understand that she is a mother. She is my mother, and I am her child. And she will always be there for me. She will look after me. She will protect me always. And I will do the same for her too.